Good morning.
You're still under oath, okay? Please bring your drink.
Everyone stand. You may be seated. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday when we left, I gave you certain admonitions. Does any juror have anything to report about those admonitions? If you do, raise your hand. Let the record reflect that none of the jurors have raised their hands.
Good morning, Ms. Hawkins.
Good morning.
I personally apologize that we've had to carry you over to the second day. I know that's hard for you. Certainly wasn't purposeful. I want you to know that. We heard a lot of testimony yesterday that you were one of Megan's closest friends. Would that be a fair statement?
Yeah.
And that you had known her for some time, even through high school years, before Evelyn was born.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. And I imagine that you got to know Megan quite well. And you were around when Evelyn was born. Spent a lot of time with Megan and both Evelyn the first year of Evelyn's life. Would that be a fair statement?
Yes.
And during any of that time, in those 12 months, first 12 months up to Evelyn's first birthday, did you ever see any signs of abuse or neglect on Evelyn?
The only thing that I ever really noticed was every now and again I would look back and she wouldn't be buckled up correctly, but we would just buckle her up.
I understand. I guess what I'm saying is you never saw any injuries on Evelyn that gave you concern?
No.
You never saw anything on Evelyn. She appeared to be thriving well. You didn't have any concerns that she wasn't being fed or cared for.
No.
You didn't have any concerns that she was being physically abused.
No.
And I imagine, regardless of your relationship with Megan, had you suspected those, quite clear yesterday from your testimony you loved Evelyn, you wouldn't have stood for that regardless of your relationship with Megan, would you?
No.
Okay. And in this time that you were spending with Megan, did you ever hear Megan say or indicate that she didn't love Evelyn?
No.
Did you ever hear Megan say or indicate that she no longer wanted Evelyn and would maybe consider giving her up for adoption?
No.
Did you ever hear Megan say that Evelyn was an inconvenience on her life?
No.
You're familiar with Megan's background and her family situation. You're aware that Megan was in foster care, correct?
Yes.
And you're aware that Evelyn was born while Megan was in foster care. And would it be fair to say that the one consistent love in Megan's life was Evelyn?
Yes.
Above everything, her family?
Yeah.
Judge, we're going to object to her being able to get into the defendant's head on how she's feeling about people in her life.
Wait, the question's framed, let's just think.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Well, were you aware that Megan had some fractured or broken relationships?
Yes.
Did it appear that Evelyn was the one constant thing that brought Megan joy?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, were you aware that, do you know who Tommy Boswell, do you know who Tommy Boswell is?
Yes.
That's Megan's father? You familiar with his girlfriend?
Yeah.
Do you have personal knowledge that Tommy's girlfriend wanted to spank Evelyn?
Objection.
sustained in part, overruled in part.
Ms. Hawkins, in all the time that you spent together with Megan, Megan, did you ever see her spank or hit Evelyn?
No.
Judge, that's all the questions we have.
Read your record.
Nothing, Your Honor.
Is she free to go?
Judge, I don't oppose that.
Did you
I can have
release
just one
her?
second. You have one question, Your Honor. Bailey, did you know Hunter Wood?
Yes.
Okay. Did you know that the defendant, Megan Boswell, was in a relationship with Hunter Wood?
All right, objection overruled.
Thank you. And were you aware that they were in a relationship?
Yes.
Okay. Did you personally ever see Hunter around baby Evelyn?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Recross.
None, Your
All right. Is she released from her subpoena?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Hawkins, thank you for your testimony. You're released from your subpoena. You're free to go.
All right. Thank you.
I'm under.
All right, Nick.
The state would call Crystal Crawford.
What was that last name?
Crawford. Crawford.
Raise your right hand. State your name.
Crystal Crawford.
You solemnly swear affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Have a seat.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Amber.
Tell the jury your name and where you're employed.
Crystal Crawford at the Econo Lodge in Kingsport, Tennessee.
Okay. Is that located on Airport Parkway in Kingsport?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How long have you been employed there?
I have been working there almost 10 years.
Okay. What is your title there?
Front desk clerk.
Okay. Can you give us a brief description of your job duties at the Econo Lodge?
Front desk, laundry, some days housekeeping also. Just whatever needs to be done. I do all his management paperwork and all that.
Okay. So those duties include things like checking in and checking out guests.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I'm assuming Econo Lodge creates records and maintains those records at the hotel?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When you enter information to the hotel, is it into like a computer system that's maintained?
Yes, ma'am.
And are those records preserved for a certain amount of time?
Yes, I believe up to 5 years.
Okay. And when you create these records, is it essentially the same procedure each time?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to pass you a document.
Okay.
You could take a look at that and see if you recognize it.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. Can you tell us what it is?
It is a check-in and check-out slip on Megan Boswell.
Okay. And have you seen that document before?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How was this document generated?
In order for this to generate, the guest has to come in and check in and provide ID, and then we give them the room keys, and they sign a registration card stating that they were present at the property.
Okay. And was this particular document run, a search was essentially run on Megan Boswell's name, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And is this part of your record keeping that was kept and maintained in the normal course of business at the Econo Lodge?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, we'd be asked that made exhibit number 84.
Any objection? Go, sir. Before we group 87.
Thank you. waiting for this screen to,
You're fine.
sorry, Judge. Permission to publish?
Go ahead.
Okay. And Ms. Crawford, you should be able to see this on your screen as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And is this the document you were just referencing that was produced at the Econo Lodge?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You recognize Megan Boswell's name as having been at the Econo Lodge on 3 dates in 2019 and 1 date in 2020.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you tell the jury the dates that Megan Boswell checked in and out of the Econo Lodge in 2019?
She checked in on 10/11/2019, checked out on 10/12/2019, checked in on 12/14/2019, checked out on 12/15/2019, checked back in on 12/15/19, checked out on 12/16/2019.
Okay. And then she had one more, it looks like on January 6, 2020. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And if I could please have exhibit number 83 passed to the witness, please. It's that.
Would you like to see
Oh.
the next one? That's the-
Okay, Ms. Crawford, do you recognize what I've handed you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and can you tell us what that document is?
It is a registration card for Bailey Hawkins,
Okay, and what was the date of check-in and check-out on that?
February 22nd of 2020, and checked out on February 23rd of 2020.
Okay, all right, you can pass that back to the clerk, thank you. Do you know who the defendant Megan Boswell is?
Not personally, no, just from coming into the motel.
Okay, so you recognize her from coming into the motel?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you recognize her because of this case, or did you recognize her before Evelyn was reported missing?
No, she came into the motel a few times before I ever even knew that her baby was missing. And of course, I didn't speak to her very much in the first couple times she stayed. But after a couple times, you know, the guests get familiar to you. So I did spark up a conversation with her. I think it was around the third time of her staying there.
Okay. And do you recall her staying at the Econo Lodge during those months that we just went through of December 14th and December 15th, which would have been, I guess, that third day, December 15th
Yes, ma'am.
of 2019. And did you talk with her at all during that time?
Like I said, about the third time,
Okay.
I spoke up, you know, a conversation with her probably for about 20 minutes or so, maybe a little longer than that.
Okay. Were you aware that if she had a child?
Not until the third time,
Okay. And how were you made aware that she had a child that third time?
because of the conversation we were having. I can't really remember a lot of details. It's been so long ago, but, you know, I can't remember if she brought it up or I brought it up. I really can't remember.
Okay. And what did she say about her child?
She told me that she was with her father.
Okay. So is it fair to say you never saw Evelyn at the hotel with Megan Boswell?
No, ma'am, I never saw her.
Okay. Do you recall seeing Megan Boswell at the hotel with anybody else ever?
No, ma'am.
Okay. 1 minute. During the times that you saw the defendant, the 2 times in December and the 2 times in January, did she ever appear to be crying?
No, not that I can remember.
Did she ever give appearance of being scared or worried?
No, ma'am, not that I can remember.
Did she ever express any concern to you about the safety of her daughter?
No, ma'am, not that I can remember.
All right. Please answer any questions the defense has for you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
No questions, Ms. Witness.
All right. Ms. Crawford, thank you for your testimony today. You're released from your subpoena, ma'am. You're free.
Thank you.
State would call Kaitlyn Jones.
your right hand, man. State your name.
Kaitlyn Carter.
Solemnly swear affirm testimony back here with the truth, all truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Scoot up close to the microphone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just realized I called you Caitlin Jones. You are now Kaitlyn Carter. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I apologize. Okay, so you've told the jury your name. Where do you live?
Kingsport.
Okay. Do you know the defendant, Evelyn Boswell?
Yes, ma'am.
And how do you know her?
We were friends in college.
Okay. And if you can, I'm going to ask you to maybe pull that microphone just a little bit closer. There you go. Thank you. You were friends in college. When you were in college or when she was in college?
When I was in college.
Okay. And when did you first meet her?
Middle school.
Okay. Did you continue to stay friends for middle school until you were in college?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did you reconnect at some point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And that was when you were in college, I guess?
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
So during that time, is that when you met Evelyn?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that means you've met Evelyn in person?
Yes.
Okay. How many times do you think you have been around Evelyn?
4 or 5 times.
Okay. And are those times that when you were hanging out with Megan Boswell?
Yes,
As
ma'am.
well? Okay. When you hung out with Megan, was Evelyn usually with her?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you ever recall seeing Megan when Evelyn was not with her?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when was that?
The end of our friendship.
Okay. Which was when?
The 1st of December.
Okay. So then you're saying you saw Megan without Evelyn the 1st of December?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Prior to that, well, let me rephrase. Before, when you say the 1st of December, do you mean the first day of December or do you mean the first part of December?
The first part.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure we were clear on that one. Okay. So prior to the first part of December, do you recall ever seeing the defendant without Evelyn?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you recall going to Chili's with Megan Boswell at one point?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember when that was?
The end of my college semester.
Okay. And do you know when that would have been?
Around the 1st of December.
Okay. Who was there when you went to Chili's that day?
Me, Megan, and Evelyn.
Okay. Anyone else?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did you sit at a table or a booth?
Booth.
Okay. And did you sit beside anyone?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So Megan and Evelyn were on one side of the table and you were on the other?
Yes, ma'am.
What was your impression of Evelyn that day?
She was dirty, and I could smell her across the table.
Okay. Was she, have you been around babies before?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Was she beyond what a normal dirty baby would be?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Sustained.
You said you've been around other babies, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Based on your personal experience with other babies, did you consider Evelyn dirtier than what your experience was with other children?
Based on my personal opinion, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And can you tell us how? Can you describe it for us?
Her face and hands were dirty, and her clothes were dirty.
Okay. Do you recall when Megan started working at the chicken shack?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you recall if she was dating anyone when she started working at the chicken shack?
Not when she started.
Okay. When did she start dating someone? Shortly after?
About a week or 2 after.
Okay. And who was that?
Hunter Wood.
Okay. So around this time, did you notice anything different about the defendant, Megan Boswell?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me what you noticed?
She was spending a lot more time with the gentleman and not Evelyn.
Okay. After this time, when she's dating Hunter Wood, did you see Evelyn with Megan Boswell at any time?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did you see Hunter with Evelyn at any time?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did you have concerns at this point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you talk with other people about it?
I don't believe so.
Okay. What were your concerns?
It was strange that Megan Boswell was not with Evelyn because she was always with Evelyn up until this point.
Okay. Did you notice Megan doing things without Evelyn?
Yes, ma'am.
What types of things?
Usually things that you would take your children, such as vacations, going to the aquarium.
December. I'm going to pass you 2 photographs.
Thank you.
Take a look at those and see if you recognize them.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay, can you tell me what it is?
Megan sent me those when her and Hunter and a few other people went to the aquarium.
Okay, and so you got those personally sent to you from Megan?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what is a photograph of?
Megan and Hunter Wood at the aquarium.
Okay. Your Honor, we'd ask that to be made exhibit number 85.
Any objection?
No.
Judge, I would say that these photos are cumulative. They're essentially the same photos. The court wants to admit them. But I wouldn't know if they're cumulative.
I think if they're going to be introduced separately, I mean, they should be introduced separately. They shouldn't be introduced as a cumulative.
Okay. You want to do 85 and 86, Your Honor? Permission to publish, Your Honor. Kaitlyn, is this one of the pictures you received from Megan Boswell? Was it via text?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did she indicate that Evelyn was with her that day?
No, ma'am.
Did she send you any pictures of her with Evelyn that day?
No, ma'am.
Did she seem to be upset at all that day when
No,
she
ma'am.
sent you these pictures? Okay. Did she also send you this photograph from that same day?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And can you tell me what the date is that's behind her on the photograph? Can you read that?
On the top,
Yeah.
it says 2019.
Okay. And you may not recall, but if you do you remember when those photographs were sent to you?
I do not recall.
Okay. Would it have been after early December?
Yes, ma'am.
Because it would have been, you said, she started dating Hunter 1 to 2 weeks after the beginning of December. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So is it fair to say it was at least 1 to 2 weeks after mid-December?
Yes.
Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. So for mid-December is, well, let me say this. Prior to Thanksgiving of 2019, did Megan talk a lot about Evelyn?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you see her post a lot about Evelyn?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What about mid-December? Is she still doing that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. At some point, did you ask her where Evelyn was?
Yes.
What did she say?
She said that she was with her father.
Okay. When you say her father, do you know who do you think she was talking about, or who was she talking about?
She was speaking of Ethan.
Okay. Did she say why Evelyn was with Ethan?
Yes, ma'am.
What did she say?
She said that Ethan came home and got emergency custody.
Okay. Did she ever show you any paperwork?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did she ever say why?
Ethan seen photos of Evelyn with a bruise on her head, and he used that.
Okay. And the defendant told you that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So we're going to go back to that. Did Megan say why Ethan had taken emergency custody of Evelyn?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did she say?
She said that Ethan had saw photos of Evelyn with a bruise on her forehead.
Okay. You said she never showed you paperwork of custody.
No, ma'am.
Okay. How many times did she tell you that Evelyn was with Ethan?
A few times.
Okay. Was that in person or via text?
Both.
Okay. So do you remember seeing Megan around Christmas?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Where did you see her?
We met at the Pinnacle in Bristol.
Okay. Was Evelyn with her?
No, ma'am.
Did you talk to her about Evelyn?
Yes, ma'am.
What did she say?
She still said that Ethan had her.
Okay. And do you remember Megan getting a phone call while you were talking to her that day?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know who called her?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Who called her?
Her father.
Okay. And we're not going to be able to say what he said to her, but what did Megan say to her father over the phone?
She told her father that she would be getting Evelyn back around the 1st of February.
Okay. Okay. During this entire time, did Megan ever seem upset?
No, ma'am.
Did you ever see her cry?
No, ma'am.
Did she seem worried about Evelyn?
No, ma'am.
Did she ever seem concerned about Evelyn's safety?
No, ma'am.
Please answer any questions the defense has of him.
Okay.
Good morning, Ms. Jones. My name's Gene Scott. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's Miss Carter.
Oh, Ms. Carter.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I got it wrong. Did it used to be Ms. Jones?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how often were you around Megan, let's say in 2019? Would you consider yourselves close friends during that time period?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How often would you see her?
About twice a month.
Twice a month. And you described a meal, I think it was Applebee's?
Chili's.
Chili's. When was that meal?
Around the 1st of December.
You say around the 1st of December. Can you be more specific? And let me ask you this way. You equated it to your college semester or your earlier testimony.
Mm-hmm.
Had you finished? Had you taken your exams? Were you waiting to take exams? What part of the end of the college semester were you at?
She actually picked me out to eat for celebration of finishing my exams.
Okay. So the exams were in December.
Yes, sir.
That's typical, I think, of a college schedule, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So this would have been sometime, say, after the 5th or 6th, maybe?
I would say so.
Okay. Do you know what day of the week it was?
I do not.
Would have been a weekday.
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Carter, you described Evelyn as being dirty that day.
Yes, sir.
Had you ever seen Evelyn dirty before?
No, sir.
Did you ever see any signs of abuse?
No, sir.
Did Megan seem like a loving mother to you?
Yes, sir.
Did she seem devoted to Evelyn?
Yes, sir.
Did you ever see her neglect her in any way?
No, sir.
Would it be fair to say that at some point your friendship with Megan ended?
Yes, sir.
When did that occur?
Around the 1st of January.
And did that have anything to do with Evelyn?
No, sir.
Why did your friendship end?
She lost or misplaced her phone and did not have a way to communicate with me.
Okay, so y'all just quit talking.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Carter, just so we know, your exams, were they were after Thanksgiving?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And in 2019, Thanksgiving, I believe, was on the 28th of November. Does that sound right to you?
Yes.
So your exams would have been sometime the first week of December. Monday was the 2nd of December. Does that sound correct?
Yes.
Okay. How many days would your exams been?
That whole last week of college.
Okay. So the last day of that week is the 6th of December.
Is that on
That's
Friday?
a Friday.
Okay.
Okay, would that have been the day your exams ended?
Yes.
Is that the day you ate?
I cannot recall.
You said you ate, did you eat on the last day of exams or just after the last day of exams?
It was the last day of exams.
Okay, so if the last day of exams were on the 6th, it would have been on the 6th.
I guess I'm going to ask if he wants to, we need to probably check that schedule so she doesn't get confused on the dates she's talking about.
Judge, can we approach? Ms. Carter, you were certain that the meal was after your exams, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you were also certain that the exams were after Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir.
No doubt in your mind?
No, sir.
You have no memory issue with that.
No, sir.
You just can't remember what day in December it would have been.
Yes.
Okay. You would agree with me that your exams were definitely in December.
Yes, sir.
And do you know for sure they ended on Friday?
Yes.
Okay. So it would have been the first Friday of December.
It was before Christmas.
Do you think they ended the first week of December?
Maybe the second.
Okay. So they could have ended, the meal could have been no earlier than sometime the first week of December, or maybe even into the second.
No, sir.
Okay. Do you have any difficulty in remembering that whatsoever?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Redirect your arm. Do you remember giving an interview to law enforcement? Kaitlyn, do you remember the last time that you saw Evelyn?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, when was that?
It was the day we went to Chili's.
Okay. And I know Mr. Scott was throwing a lot of dates out at you. How do you, let me ask it this way. Was that before or after Megan started working at the chicken shack?
That was after.
Okay. How long after?
3 or 4 weeks.
Okay. So you think that that was after she had started dating Hunter?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That's all the questions I have.
No, sir.
Did she be released from subpoena?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right. Ms. Carter, thank you for your testimony today. Your position, your opinion.
Thank you, sir.
Say we call Gail Kite.
Raise your right hand and state your name.
Gail Kite.
You solemnly swear affirm testimony about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Can I see your right hand?
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so we get that you're spelling your name spelling correct. Your last name is spelled K-Y-T-E. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And where do you live?
Roan Mountain.
Okay. And do you know Megan Boswell?
I do.
Okay. How do you know her?
I was her foster mother for 4 months.
Okay. Do you know what year that was in?
2018 to February of 2019.
Okay. Do you know how old Megan was when she came to live with you?
17.
Okay. And do you see her in the courtroom today?
I do.
Can you point her out to us, please? Okay. And I'm going to ask that you describe what she's wearing, please.
Looks like a black and white shirt.
Okay. We had asked the record reflect she's identified the defendant. Were you also living in Roan Mountain during 2018?
I was.
Okay. Was Megan pregnant when she came to live with you?
She was.
Do you may not, but do you recall how far along she was?
7 months.
Okay. And do you remember when Evelyn was born?
I do.
Okay. What month was that?
November
Of 2018?
2018.
Okay. And did Megan and Evelyn continue to live with you during that time?
They did.
Okay. Did Evelyn appear to be developing normally?
She did.
I'm assuming you have children of your own.
I do.
Any concerns, based on your own personal experience, that you had with Megan caring for Evelyn?
No,
Okay. Everything seemed to be appropriate?
it did.
Okay. And did Megan take Evelyn to all of her pediatric appointments?
Yes,
How did she get there during the time she was living with you?
I took her.
You took her? Okay. To your memory, did you take her to all of those appointments?
While she was living with me.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And I think you've already said they lived with you about 4 months, and she moved out in February 2019. Is that right?
That's correct.
And do you know where they moved?
To her father's home.
Okay. That'd be Tommy Boswell?
Yes,
Okay. Did you continue to have contact with her after they moved out?
I did.
Okay. How did you keep in contact?
Most of it was Facebook texts, calls.
Okay. And do you remember Megan bringing Evelyn to visit you in September of 2019?
I do.
Okay. And would Evelyn, so she wasn't quite 1 year old at that point, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Was Evelyn walking yet?
She was toddling.
Okay. So still occasionally holding on to things, but letting go occasionally, or did she wasn't letting go yet?
She was letting go. She was taking a step or two on her own.
Okay. And again, this is right before, 2 months before her first birthday. Did she appear to be developing normally?
She did.
Did she appear healthy?
She did.
Okay. After that visit in September, do you remember Megan contacting you regarding babysitting?
She did.
Okay. And do you remember when that was? What month that was?
She reached out to me several times. The first time was in August. She was wanting to go to school.
Okay.
And then she reached out to me, I want to say, again, towards the end of December.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay. I'm going to show you a document to see if that helps you with your date a little bit. Okay. Do you we won't be able to say what it is quite yet, but do you recognize that document?
I do.
Okay. What is it?
That's text messages between me and Megan.
Okay. And what is the date of those messages?
December the 3rd of
Of-
2019.
Okay. And is that a fair and accurate representation of the conversation that you had with her via text or Facebook Messenger on that date?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, we'd ask that to be made exhibit number 87.
Any objection?
No, sir.
Before exhibit, please.
And permission to publish. Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Gail, can you read that okay?
I can.
Okay. So is this one of the times that Megan was looking for a babysitter?
It was.
And what did she say to you there on December 3rd, 2019?
She says, do you think your sister would babysit and let me pay her at the end of the week? I just got a job and won't get paid until next week. I just started today.
Okay.
And I told her, yes, I knew she would.
Okay.
She said, what's her number? Sometimes, mommy gets sick, and she already keeps her for school. I talked to her. She said that was fine.
Okay. So essentially she's indicating that Sue can babysit. Is that right? And Sue is your sister?
She is.
Okay. And then what do you say to Megan?
Sue wants you to call her. She wanted to know if you had a pack and play you could bring.
Okay. And what does Megan say?
I'm at work. Yes, I have one.
Okay. Does that help refresh your memory a little bit on the date?
It does.
So it would have been early December, not late December?
Correct.
Okay. Now, is there a reason you were not able to babysit?
I had broken some ribs. I had 2 broke ribs.
Okay. And so you essentially gave her the name of your sister, Sue Witson.
Correct.
Where does Sue live? Or where did Sue live at the time?
In Elizabethton.
Okay. Does she still live in Elizabethton?
She does.
Okay. And to your knowledge, did Sue, in fact, babysit Evelyn a few times?
She did.
Around the same time, do you remember talking to Megan about, excuse me, a new boyfriend that she had?
I do.
Do you remember what that boyfriend's name was?
Hunter Wood.
Okay. And did Megan ever reach out to you about Hunter Wood?
She did.
Okay. And do you remember when that was?
December the 22nd.
Okay. How do you remember that date?
It was a Sunday. There was a church play, and we were getting ready to go, and she wanted me to meet Hunter. And I told her that we were getting ready to leave for church, so she said that they would meet us at the church.
Okay. What type of play was it at church?
A Christmas play,
Okay.
children's Christmas
Okay.
play.
And did Megan and Hunter actually come to church that day?
They did.
Did they have Evelyn with them?
They did not.
Did you ask Megan where Evelyn was?
I did.
And what did she say?
She told me that Ethan had her, that they were sharing custody.
Okay. Did she appear sad when she told you that?
She seemed fine.
Okay. Did she act like anything was wrong that day?
No.
Okay. Do you have any questions? I'm sorry. I thought they were discussing it. Take a moment to look at that and see if you recognize it. Do you
I do.
recognize that? Okay. Can you tell me what it is?
It's text messages between me and Megan.
Okay. What date were those messages sent?
January the 13th.
Of 2020?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is that a fair and accurate representation of your conversation with Megan on that date?
It is.
And we'd ask that be made exhibit number 88.
Objection?
No, sir.
School exhibit 88.
Permission to publish? Okay. So it looks like you start this conversation by asking how she and Evelyn are doing. And what does Megan say in response?
Good. Ethan has half custody now.
Okay. And then you respond, I almost bought Evelyn a beautiful dress at Cracker Barrel, wasn't sure what size. And what does Megan say in response?
She wears 18 months now. Isn't that crazy? Hunter and I can come when we get off work. Ethan has Evelyn until Friday, though.
Okay. And continuing the conversation,
I told her wait until Thursday. We're having a DCS home inspection tomorrow, and I'm cleaning and getting ready. It makes me nervous.
Okay.
LOL.
okay. And what does Megan say in response?
Don't be nervous. You and Rick are hands down the best foster parents anyone could ask for. In a lot of ways, you are my family more than my actual family.
Okay. And what did you say?
Thank you. We love you and that baby. Is Ethan out of the Army?
And then what does Megan say?
We love you, and yes, he is.
Okay. We're going to move forward to February of 2020. We are not going to be able to say what somebody told you, okay? Do you remember, though, being contacted by someone named Shirley Boswell Lowry?
I do.
And who is this person?
Megan's aunt.
Okay, how did she contact you?
First by Facebook Messenger, and then I asked her to give me a call.
Okay, and give me just 1 second. Had you ever been contacted by her before?
No.
Okay. Okay. So, again, we're not going to be able to talk about what she told you, but what did you tell her about what Megan had told you?
I told her that I didn't know where Evelyn was. I also told her that the last time I'd spoken with Megan that she had told me Ethan had half custody of Evelyn.
Okay. And did you have Evelyn?
I did
I know
not.
that may be a crazy question, but you did not.
No.
Okay. What did you do? Based on that conversation, what did you do?
I tried calling Megan.
Okay. And did you call her phone?
I did.
Okay.
And I got a hold of Tommy. Tommy, Megan's dad,
Okay.
had her phone.
Okay. And what did you tell Tommy?
I was looking for Megan, and then he discussed the same thing Shirley
Okay, yeah,
had
we-
discussed.
And we won't be able to get into what he said. We can only essentially get into something that maybe Megan told you or something that you say yourself. I know it's a little confusing. Okay, so essentially you call Megan's phone, but Tommy answers.
Correct.
Okay, and you were essentially trying to get in touch with Megan. You didn't get in touch with her that way, so what did you do next?
I texted her by Facebook.
Okay. And did she respond to you?
She did. She
Okay.
said she didn't have a phone. She couldn't talk. That it had to be by text message.
Okay. And was that Facebook Messenger?
It was.
Okay. Did you contact anyone else that day?
I did.
Who did you contact?
Constance Cole from DCS.
Okay. And who is Constance? How do you, is that through the
That-
foster care stuff?
It was.
Okay. And were you able to get in touch with Constance?
I could not. It was after hours, so I left her a message on her phone.
Okay. And what message did you leave?
I told her that Evelyn was missing.
Okay. So when is the last time you yourself saw Evelyn alive?
When she brought her to my home in September.
September. And that'd be September 2019?
It was-
Okay. Please answer any questions the defense has for you.
Good morning, Ms. Kite. My name's Gene Scott. How are you?
I'm fine. You?
I'm good, thank you. I want to talk to you just a little bit about, you came to know Megan when she came into your care in foster care.
That's correct.
She was pregnant at the time.
She was.
Did you go to doctor's appointments with her, take her there and stuff?
I did.
Okay. How did her pregnancy go? Did it seem to go normal?
It did. She was a little underweight, but she started putting on weight once she got there.
Okay. You said Megan was underweight when she came to live with you?
She was 7 months pregnant, and you couldn't even tell she was pregnant.
Goodness. Were you present for any medical procedures she received while she was pregnant?
No, I would take her, but I would stay out in the lobby.
Do you know if she had any medical issues while she was pregnant?
No,
You don't know, or?
I don't know.
Okay. Had you been told she had intrauterine growth restriction?
If we're objecting to hearsay.
Probably is. So you didn't witness any procedures?
No.
I feel like you're wanting to say more.
Well, I do know that she.
Okay, don't. If unless it's something you know of your own knowledge, you can't talk about it. I appreciate that. How did she act while she was pregnant? Did she take an interest in being healthy and having a healthy baby?
She did.
Okay. And I guess you were with her when she had the baby?
I was.
Okay. Did she seem to take to the baby right away?
She did.
And I guess, basically you were helping her raise the baby when the baby was first born.
That's correct.
Was she loving to the child?
Very much so.
Was she devoted to the child?
Yes.
Did you ever see any issues of her neglecting or abusing the child?
Never.
After she went back to her, I guess she turned 18 when it aged out of foster care. Is that?
She was getting ready to turn 18, but she had got her a diploma, so they were letting her start trial visits, and then the trial visits led to her being going back to her father's home.
And how did Megan seem to take that going back?
She was fine with it.
Did you keep in touch with her?
We did.
Okay. Up through, you said the last time you saw Evelyn was in September of 2019, right?
Correct.
So up until that time, did you ever see any signs of abuse, neglect, or anything but a loving mother?
No.
That's all the questions I have. Thank you, Scott.
Nothing from the state.
Should be released.
From the state, yes.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Kite, thank you for your testimony today. You're released from this proceeding, ma'am.
Good. Wait for it.
Yeah. Okay, are you next?
State will call, excuse me, Sue Witson.
Raise your right hand and state your name for me.
Sue Witson.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, I do.
I need you to speak up.
Good morning. Okay. Your name is Sue Witson?
Yes.
And is your last name spelled Whitson?
Yes.
Okay. Where do you live, Sue?
In Elizabethton.
Okay. And do you know Gail Kite?
Yes, I do.
Who is Gail Kite to you?
She's my sister.
Okay. And to your knowledge, has your sister taken in foster children through the years?
Yes.
Okay. And was Megan Boswell one of the foster children that came and lived with your sister for a while?
Yes.
And were you aware that Megan Boswell had given birth to a child named Evelyn?
Yes.
Okay. And were you aware that at some point Megan and Evelyn moved out of Gail's house and got their own place?
Yes.
Okay. And were you contacted by Megan to babysit Evelyn?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Do you remember how you were contacted by her?
Text message.
Okay. And did you actually babysit Evelyn
Yes.
for her?
Yes, I did.
Do you remember how many times?
I think maybe 3 or 4.
Okay. When you babysat, was it in your home or Megan's home?
My home.
Okay. So she would bring Evelyn to you in Elizabethton?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall when you babysat?
I think maybe the last week of November or the first week of December.
Okay. I'll pass you a document. See if you can identify it.
That's Evelyn.
That's Evelyn. And is that a photograph that you took?
Yes, it is.
Okay. When did you take that photograph?
I'm saying maybe about the second day I kept her.
Okay. All right. Is that a fair and accurate representation of what the photograph looked on the day you took it?
Yes.
Okay. We request that be made exhibit number 89.
No objection.
You full exhibit 89?
And permission to publish, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Well, I made it worse.
You can get them.
I'm sorry.
You usually don't follow those.
Yeah. Doesn't want to do that for me. Okay. Is this the photograph we were just talking about?
Yes.
Okay, so that photograph would have been taken, you said you babysat her last of November to early December.
Yes.
So this would have been taken around that time. Is that
Yes.
right? Okay. And does Evelyn to you appear healthy here?
Pardon?
Was she healthy?
Oh, yes.
Okay. And was she walking?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember the last day that you babysat Evelyn?
Pretty much.
Okay. Do you remember what time Megan picked Evelyn up that day?
It was late that night, say maybe 10:30.
Okay. And you may not recall, but do you recall the date?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Did Megan indicate that she needed you to babysit again after that day?
No, she said that she wouldn't need me no more.
Okay. And did she tell you that when she picked Evelyn up, or did she tell you that later?
She told me later.
Okay. So when she picked her up, did you think you were going to be babysitting again?
Yes.
Okay. When did you learn you wouldn't be?
Maybe a couple days later, she got to where she wasn't bringing her.
She just wasn't bringing her?
No.
Okay. Okay. During the days that you watched Evelyn, did you have any concerns?
Yes.
Okay. What concerns did you have?
She had a terrible diaper rash.
Okay. When you say terrible, can you describe it, please?
It was just really like sore looking, had marks through it, maybe scratches. It was just really bad looking.
Okay. Have you kept other children Evelyn's age before?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So you feel like you got pretty good experience
Yes.
with babies and toddlers?
Yes.
Okay. Did that seem more than the average diaper rash?
Yes.
And how?
It was just, I'd never seen a diaper rash look that bad.
Okay. Did you tell anyone about this?
Yes, I called Casey Kite,
Okay.
or Casey Schultz.
Okay. And you won't be able to tell us what Casey said, but what made you tell Casey in particular?
She worked in a doctor's office.
Okay. Okay. When, for the days that you babysat Evelyn, was she clean and when Megan would drop her off?
No.
Okay. Can you tell us what Evelyn was like when she'd be dropped off by Megan?
She was dirty. She smelled like urine. I would give her a bath and clean her up.
Okay. And was that every time that you babysat was like
Yes.
that? Okay. What about her clothing? Was her clothing clean?
No, it was dirty.
Okay. What about her face? Was her face clean?
No, it was dirty.
Okay. Pass the document to you. Take a moment to look at it, see if you recognize it.
Yes.
Okay. What is it?
Text between me and Megan.
Okay. What's the date of that?
December the 21st.
2019?
Yes.
Okay. Is that a fair and accurate representation of the conversation between you and Megan on that date?
Yes.
We'd ask that be made exhibit number 90.
Full exhibit 90.
Okay. Permission to publish, Your Honor? Okay. Before I put this up, do you remember discussing with Megan about payment
Yes.
for babysitting? Had Megan paid you prior to this date?
No.
Okay. Why not? Did she say why she wasn't paying you?
She was supposed to be in a custody battle with, I guess, the baby's daddy.
Okay. Did she eventually pay you?
Yes, she did.
And how did she pay you?
She put it in a mailbox and sped out.
Okay. You said sped out?
Yeah,
Okay.
sped in her tires.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. I'm going to show you this conversation. hoping it wasn't me. That's okay. Okay. Can you see that okay? A little bit bigger. Let's see here. There we go. Okay. So we've got the date of December 21st, 2019, and you're saying to her, I don't know why you don't want to pay me. I could sure use the money. I'm broke, out of gas. Please pay me. I hope I didn't do something to make you mad. And what does Megan say to you?
She said, I'm sorry. My baby's daddy is taking me to court. I guess that's supposed to be a lot of problems lately. I'm on my way. I'll put it in your mailbox.
And what does she say after that?
Sorry, I've been crying, or I would have stopped and talked. I'm sorry it took me so long. It just been a process, and he has temporary custody of her. I've not gotten to see her in days.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Sue, please answer any questions that the defense might have for you, okay?
Good morning. My name's Gene Scott. How are you? How well did you know Megan?
Not well at all.
Okay. Did you ever interact with her when she was at your sister's home and was part of
No.
foster care?
No.
So how many times did you meet her?
Maybe 3.
Okay. And the picture you took, you said was the last time you kept Evelyn.
Yes.
When was that?
In,
I realize you may not have the exact date, but you know
in
the month?
December, I think.
Okay. Was it fair to say it was after Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember the day of the week it was?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Now, there was some talk, testimony, you said Megan later after that had told you that she wouldn't need you anymore. Is that right?
Yes.
Do you know, was that a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
I'm saying maybe 2 weeks.
Was it up around the time she paid you?
Yes.
She ultimately paid you, I think, for that babysitting in December.
Yes.
Was it around the 22nd, maybe? Does that ring a bell?
I'm thinking it was maybe the last week.
Up close to Christmas?
First week of December.
That's when you said that. Okay.
Oh, that's what I'm supposed to. Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
Not trying to confuse you, but your testimony was that you last watched her sometime in December.
Yes.
Okay. And then we've seen your text messages here. I think they were. Can I withdraw the last exhibit, please? December the 21st is when you texted her asking her about the money.
Okay.
So it would have been after that she told you she wouldn't need you any further?
It could have been.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Can we have just a moment? We don't have any other questions, Your Honor.
May she be released.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Whitson, thank you for your testimony. You're released from your subpoena, ma'am. Ms. Whitson. We'll take about 15 minutes.
One thing, please. You may be seated. Thank you.
Minutes at 15.
Court stands in recess. You may be seated. Thank you.
Quite next one.
Disabled call Erica Stacy.
Raise your right hand, ma'am. You solemnly state your name, sir.
Erica Stacy.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Submit there. You speak up, speak your
Okay.
You ready? Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. And your name is spelled E-R-I-C-A?
Yes, ma'am.
S-T-A-C-Y, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Stacy, where do you live?
Kingsport, Tennessee.
Okay, and do you know the defendant, Megan Boswell?
I do.
How do you know her?
She dated my son, Caleb.
Okay. And do you remember when they dated?
It was spring of 2019.
Okay. Do you know how long they dated?
2 or 3 months.
Okay. And during that time, did you get a chance to meet Evelyn?
I did.
Okay. Can you recall how many times you met Evelyn, like in person, face to face?
It was a handful of times, probably no more than 10.
Okay. Did you have a relationship with Evelyn?
I feel like I did.
Okay. What was your relationship like?
I mean, I would see her when she would come to the house, and her and Caleb were hanging out.
Okay. So, what city did you say you lived in?
Kingsport.
Okay, so she would come to your house in Kingsport?
Yes.
Okay. During those 10 times-ish that you said you thought that you had seen Evelyn in person, was Megan always with her?
Yes.
Okay. Was there any time that you saw Megan where you did not see Evelyn? Yeah,
There was-
but let me ask you this way. Before Thanksgiving of 2019?
No.
Okay.
No, they were pretty much connected at the hip.
Okay. So every time you saw Megan, you saw Evelyn?
Yes.
Okay. To your knowledge, personally, did Megan ever allow anyone to babysit Evelyn?
Just family.
Okay. Did you ever babysit Evelyn?
No.
Okay. Did you ever offer to babysit?
Yes.
Okay. So you said did you say they were together just a few months?
Yes.
Okay. When they broke up, did you continue your relationship
I
with
did.
Megan? And why did you do that?
I wanted to help her.
Okay. Did that include Evelyn?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Why? Okay. Okay, do you remember Megan bringing Evelyn to your house in September of 2019?
Yes.
And do you remember why they came by that day?
I was putting decals on Maggie's car.
Okay. And just so the jury understands, you occasionally make things on like a machine?
Yes, on a Cricut.
Okay. So you'd make like vinyl stickers?
It
kind
was like a Chevy decal. We were covering her Chevy emblems.
of? Okay. And was Evelyn with her that day?
Yes, that was the deal, that I wouldn't charge her for the decals if she brought Evie with her.
Okay. And so you just said Evie. Is that what you would
That's
call
what we called
Evelyn?
her, yeah.
Okay. And did you ever see Evelyn again after that date?
Not that I remember.
Okay. September 29th. Do you remember seeing Megan again in November of 2019?
Yes.
And do you remember why you saw her then?
I made Evelyn birthday shirts
Okay.
and a gift for her
Okay.
birthday.
Okay. And was that something you also did on your Cricut machine?
Yes.
Okay. Were you aware of when Evelyn's birthday was?
It was November 21st, I believe.
Okay. So this would have been for her first birthday?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you meet up with Megan to get those things to her?
I think she come by the house to pick them up.
Okay. Did she have Evelyn with her that day?
No.
Okay. Can you go ahead and pass? Okay. Can we approach? Fulton County, okay?
Okay.
And the reason you need to wear the gloves essentially is to, well, there may be something, will the scissors work okay? Just be very careful when you cut the top of the package, just cut it across straight if you can, like
Cut
we
across
did in
right
the
up here?
Yes. Okay. And then,
out?
yes, if you can go ahead and just take out within the envelope, and don't show it to the jury yet, but see if you can identify that.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me what it is?
It's the shirt that I made for Evelyn for her birthday.
Okay. Your Honor, I guess at this point we would ask for it to be made Exhibit 91. One moment.
For identification.
For identification only. Okay.
Maybe if you could place it back inside the envelope for me. Thank you.
Erica, because of the rules, the way the rules are laid out, we can't yet show that. But I'm going to ask you, if you could, to please tell the jury what it looks like.
It was a blue long sleeve shirt that had the yellow baby shark on it. That was her favorite one.
Okay. And did you put anything personalized on it for?
It just talked about it being her first year, her 1 year birthday.
Okay. Okay. And you personalized that for?
I did.
You had put that
I
onto
did.
the. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to pass you again. We're going to do the same thing. This is the last one.
Okay.
Okay. And again, so you try to take care in cutting it if you can.
Pull it all the way out.
Yes, if you can identify it without pulling it all the way out, that's fine. I want to see if you recognize it.
Yeah.
Okay, you do?
I know.
Okay. Can you tell us what it is?
It's a baby shark blanket that I had put Evelyn's name on in pink glitter.
Okay. And is that also what you had given to Megan
her birthday.
for Evelyn to wear for her first birthday, or to have for her first birthday?
Yeah.
Okay. And what color did you say what color the blanket was?
Blue. It's got the baby shark characters on it.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, we'd ask that to be offered as Exhibit 92 for identification only. So those two items, are those the two items that you gave to Megan before Evelyn's first birthday?
Yes.
And what was the purpose of those items?
The shirt was to be worn for her birthday party that I was told was being planned.
Okay.
And then the blanket was the gift.
The blanket was the gift. Okay, gotcha. Okay. During this time that you were around Megan, did she ever say anything about Evelyn that surprised you?
She would always say that Evelyn was mean as crap.
Okay. And is that the word she used, crap?
No, she would say mean as shit.
Okay. Did she say that more than once?
Yes.
Okay. And that would have been around the time that Evelyn was a year old?
Yes.
Okay. Why did that surprise you?
I was raised, you just don't say that about a child.
Was Evelyn a mean baby?
Not that I ever saw.
Okay. What type of baby was Evelyn?
Very happy, very smiley.
Okay. And do you recall trying to reach out to Megan to continue to try to see Evelyn again?
Yes.
Okay. And would Megan respond to you?
She did for a little bit, and then there was a time that she didn't respond.
Okay. Did you buy Christmas gifts for Evelyn?
I did. I bought gifts for Maggie and Evelyn.
Okay. And did you reach out to?
I did.
Okay. And did she acknowledge when you reached out?
She did. She was supposed to come by our house on the 24th.
Okay. And did she come by?
She did not.
Okay. Did you see Megan again after Christmas?
I saw her in January.
Okay. So January of 2020?
Yes.
Okay. Where did you see her?
Her and Hunter came to my church twice.
Okay. And who was Hunter?
Hunter was her boyfriend at the time.
Okay. So she came to your church twice. Were both of those times in January?
Yes.
Okay. Did she have Evelyn with her either of those times?
No.
Did you find it strange that Evelyn was not with her?
Yes.
Why?
Because anytime I saw Maggie, for the most part, Evie was on her hip.
Okay. Did you ask Megan where Evelyn was each
Yes.
time you saw her in January?
Yes.
And what did she tell you?
She told me she was with her father,
Okay. And did you know what his name was?
Ethan.
Okay. Do you remember when you saw them at church asking Megan what Evelyn thought about Hunter, Megan's new boyfriend?
Yes.
What did she say?
That they had not been around each other.
Okay. Did you ask that question both times that you saw her?
Yes.
And what did she say?
That they hadn't been around each other.
Okay. When you saw Megan at church those 2 times, did she ever seem to be upset about Evelyn not being around?
No.
Can you describe her demeanor?
She seemed happy.
Did she ever verbally express worry for Evelyn or her safety?
No.
Okay. Did she give you any indication that anything was even wrong with Evelyn?
No.
Okay. At some point, did you learn that Evelyn had been reported as a missing child?
Well, yes. They detectives just showed up at our house
Okay.
wanting to know where I was, and I was on my way to Knoxville taking my daughter to an appointment.
Okay. And is that how you learned that
Yes.
Evelyn was missing? Okay.
Mhm.
So not from Megan?
No.
Okay. So during the time that Evelyn's missing, did you see Megan Boswell again?
I did.
Okay. And do you remember where you saw her?
I picked her up at the Walmart in Bristol.
Okay. Do you remember what month that was?
I do not.
Okay.
I want to say February maybe.
Okay. And why were you picking her up at Walmart in Bristol?
She said she didn't have anywhere to go,
Okay.
and I thought maybe she would talk to me if it was just me and her.
Okay. Because you felt like you had that kind of relationship?
I did.
Okay. What was your purpose in talking to her that night?
To see if she could tell me where Evie was, who had her.
Okay. And are you doing this while you're driving
Yes.
with her? Okay. I'm assuming you asked her those questions
I did.
when you got in the car. What was her response to you about where Evelyn was?
She didn't know.
Okay. Did she ever tell you, did she mention Ethan? Because she told you about Ethan before. Did she mention Ethan that day?
It was that Ethan had her. Ethan had quit answering her calls, her texts, wouldn't answer the door.
Okay. What was her demeanor in the car that night?
Emotionless.
Okay. Can you tell me what you mean by that?
There was nothing. Like most answers were, I don't know, and there were no tears. There was no frantic, what I think I would have been had my child been missing. There was none of that.
Just to clarify, and this is after Evelyn had already been reported missing, is that
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes.
During the time that you knew Megan, do you feel like you got to know her fairly well?
As best as I could.
So that would be from the time she started dating Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you said that was in spring of 2019. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
Did you see Megan on the news interviews that she gave?
I did.
Okay. Did you watch those interviews?
Of course.
Was the Megan that you saw in those television interviews the same Megan that you knew?
No.
How was she different?
It almost seemed rehearsed, practiced. She just,
Okay.
I don't know how to describe that.
Okay. We can stop with that. going to pass you two papers. Ask if you recognize him.
I do.
Okay. What is it?
It's messages between myself and Maggie.
Okay. For what date?
January 8th, 2020.
Okay. Is that a fair and accurate representation of your conversation with her on that date?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, we'd ask that be made exhibit number 93.
Any objection?
No, sir.
You full exhibit 93.
Thank you. Okay. Permission to publish? Okay. First one. You stated, "I've been worried to death about you. Are you okay?" Why did you send that message?
I mean, that's right in the midst of people looking for Evie, and I hadn't heard from her.
Okay. So Evelyn had not been reported missing yet at that point. So
Then that was if I've not heard from her, because we talked quite a bit.
okay. And then you asked her, "Did you and Evelyn have a good Christmas?" And what did she say in response to you?
She says we did. Let me read all of
Oh,
that.
actually, that's not her one. One moment, Your Honor. We approach.
I'll look forward to bringing the jury in.
I may take a client though.
Oh, okay.
The jury has something.
Judge, it appears what has happened, we have been admitting what I believe to be screenshots, what I think the court believed to be screenshots of text messages, which were ultimately a created document that were taken from a cell phone dump. We have, I don't know how many exhibits of that. Notice that on the last one, that exhibit, it came in admittedly without objection because I thought it was a screenshot of the cell phone dump. Or a screenshot, not of the dump itself, but of a screen. Hence screenshot. When the last exhibit was published to the jury, it contained a note that Mr. Horn noticed and led to our objection that contained a note made by the district attorney's office. It's already been up on the screen and published to the jury. I have concern now that all of these documents, and I have concern that there could be other errors that we haven't caught. At this point, I'm going to move the court for a mistrial.
Judge, a couple things in response. Some of those are, I know the Instagram messages actually are screenshots of what was on the phone, so those are not. The other ones are taken from the either Facebook proceeds or text conversations that were dumped from the phones. They're identical. The only thing we've done is put them in a format that makes them look like what you would see if you were looking at Facebook Messenger or at a cell phone. That's the only thing. The one that was most recently up in front of the screen is admittedly not verbatim what was in the text, and that's what was caught. It's just human error in reviewing all this. But everything else is identical. They've all been read. Most of them have been read in court. And those messages and Facebook communications have, Mr. Scott's had those for several years now and reviewed them. And if he disputes the veracity of them, he can sit there and go back through and check them word for word. But they're identical. There's nothing substantively that's been placed before the jury that's either inaccurate or misleading. The only thing that's not correct is that last one that was up on the screen. Otherwise, it's just it's not a substance thing. It's just the fact of what they. The only thing we've changed is how they look. on the screen. The profile pictures I told Mr. Scott, they're taken from Facebook Messenger. There's nothing, we haven't created any content as far as that's concerned. So there's nothing that's been put before the jury that's in any way misleading or inaccurate.
So the raw data was from the cell phone.
Correct, from the forensic extraction, yes.
Correct. And those were placed in, basically you made a demonstrative
Correct.
evidence. Has the raw data been provided in discovery?
Oh, yes, Judge, that's been provided. They've had that for years.
And the demonstrative,
That was made available. Mr. Scott wanted, we had him and his investigators at our office several weeks ago. They wanted to look at it. We didn't specifically identify which things we were using. As the trial's going on, some we've used and some we haven't used, so, but yes, they've been available.
Because I was not aware of that. We did meet with Mr. Harper and Ms. Massengill. They're very kind to have us up there, but you have to understand, we talked over generally what data we had. I don't remember talking over this demonstrative data. We do have the cell phone extraction. And as these are coming in, the way they look to me, I'm not raising a big stink at it at the time because it looks like screenshots. Picture's worth 1,000 words until we see this last one come in. But as far as someone sending me the demonstrative data and saying, we're going to use this or we have this, no. That's my understanding now. In everyone's defense, these files are huge. I can't tell you that I can say chapter and verse, which is in every folder, and I doubt they can either. But at the same time, I find myself now in a position where we're in the middle of the trial. It would be near impossible to go back and compare all of these documents.
I don't think there's, Judge, I mean, if you want me to, I don't think it'd be that difficult for us to pull these messages from what they come in Facebook. And I mean, if you want to compare them, we can isolate those. I don't think that'd be difficult at all. I mean, it's not that many messages that have been admitted at this point.
well, since the raw data has been given, I'm not going to grant this trial because of the discovery. Now, I think if the extractions hadn't been provided, I would have to. The other question would be, do I need to declare a mistrial because the one inaccurate demonstrative aid was placed up on the monitor? And I will note that part of that message was not read to the jury. It was not read to the jury. And I know that General Massengill is the one that first brought it to our attention that it was wrong. So I'm not going to order a mistrial at this time for that. I will give curative instruction that if any of the jurors read that last bubble for the few seconds it was up there, but to put that out of their mind and not to consider what was there. Now, my concern, so I'm going to deny the motion for mistrial for those reasons. I don't find there's manifest necessity to mistrial the case. Now, going forward. Well, I guess going forward, I'll just take any objections as they come. Since I can't give any advisory opinion. Just want you to talk about it.
we approach? Message it was an error, everything else matches up. There are gaps in the conversations, which is concerning to me that they are not sequential. So the jury could be, I think the jury is left with a impression that these are screenshots. I think that's what several of us in the room thought when they were coming in. So without waiving my earlier motion for a mistrial, my suggestion would be if the court, since the court has denied that, the court craft a curative instruction to explain to the jury these are not screenshots. These are text messages selected by the state, which are a portion of the text messages contained on telephone download. I think that in fairness would at least let the jury know that this is, because for instance, there could be more conversation between Megan Boswell and the Hawkins, Bailey Hawkins. There could be more conversation between there, and it may not be relevant, but to make it look like they haven't had any more conversations between there, it's like they're talking about this and they're talking about it again. I think we just need for the jury to know that it's somehow these are portions of conversations, and what the state is deemed to be relevant to their case.
And Judge, I don't have any problem with you giving them an instruction telling them that's a portion. To the extent it anyway insinuates or infers that there's like stuff that's been left out that might otherwise. I mean, yesterday we were arguing about how cumulative everything was. I mean, part of the reason we didn't do that was to avoid having 20 pages of text messages read to the jury that had nothing to do with the case. So that's part of the reason why they were clipped the way that they were. But, you know, as Mr. Scott said, there's nothing that's been left out or in any way misleads the jury in any way. So I have no problem with the court giving an instruction as to explain what those messages, that whether they're taken from Facebook or Instagram or text, are. I don't have any problem with that at all.
I'll do that when we bring the jury back in.
Your Honor, so far as Exhibit 93 goes, would that be for the exhibit in dispute? Would that be for ID only at this point?
For this, at this, well,
I know.
I can't actually make it ID only at this point because it's been partially shown to the jury. And I've got to talk with her about that as well. But what I will do is I will make it not published to the jury.
Okay.
Okay. So Sherry, you need to make a note that 93 does not go back to the jury at the end of the proof.
Check to make sure in the clip.
Sherry, and I don't remember where it was done. Was the motion for mistrial, did we make that at sidebar, or did you make that?
It was made from the lectern. It's in the record.
It's in, I just want to make sure. Okay. State ready to proceed?
We are, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
And I believe you were still on your directive, Ms.
Stacy.
Ms. Eric
Stacy.
Stacy.
We'll go ahead and have her. If you're ready to bring them in.
Everyone stand. Maybe seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for the delay with an issue that we had to get sorted. The last exhibit that was flashed up on the screen, the very bottom blue box contains some information in there that shouldn't have been put up. I'm instructing you not, if you read it, it wasn't there long, if you read it, I'm instructing you not to consider it for any purpose during your deliberations. Does each and every juror understand that instruction? If you do, raise your right hand. The record reflects that all the jurors raise their right hand. Now, the other thing I want to talk to you about, just very briefly, and I'm not commenting on the evidence at all. Some of these exhibits appear to be screenshots of conversations, either text, Facebook, Instagram, whatever other social media platform that there is. And they're not actual screenshots. They are snippets of conversations taken from a phone extraction that was done. Okay? And I just want you to understand that. Which means that it's not necessarily a sequential stream of conversations back and forth. Does everybody understand that? No? All right. I believe Miss Stacy was on the witness stand. You'll come up, Miss Stacy? Miss Stacy, you're still under it? No, you're still under it. Sit there and speak up in the microphone. All right, go ahead, Jim.
Okay, thank you. Give Mr. Scott just a second to look at that. Okay, I'm going to pass you a document to see if you recognize it.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, can you tell me what it is?
Messages between Maggie and myself.
Okay, and when you say Maggie, you're talking about Megan Boswell?
Megan, yes,
Okay.
sorry.
And what is the date of those messages?
January the 8th. 2020.
Okay, and is that a fair and accurate representation of your conversation with her on that date?
Yes.
We'd ask that be made exhibit number 94, please.
Mr. Scott.
No objection.
Permission to publish?
Okay.
Okay, see if I can make that a little bit bigger. Okay. So what does Megan tell you at 4:34 on January 8th, 2020?
That her and Hunter are for sure coming tonight, meaning church. We tried to come on New Year's, but there wasn't a service.
Okay, what did you say in response?
I've been worried to death about you. Are you okay?
Okay, and then what did you say after that?
Did you and Evelyn have a good Christmas?
And then what did Megan say to you?
My phone is broken. LOL. We did. Did you all?
Okay. The second part of that exhibit. And then how did you respond to Megan?
We sure did. I'll bring your presents tonight and give them to you. So are you and Hunter a couple?
And what did Megan say in response?
More or less. LOL. Ethan's leaving to go home tomorrow, so I won't have Evelyn tonight, but I'll bring her next week.
Okay, and what did you say to Megan?
Okay, what does Evelyn think of Hunter?
And what is Megan saying?
She's not really been around him much because Ethan's in and has had her a lot. He won't get another break until he's out in September.
And then this one here. I'm going to pass another document to you.
Okay.
And ask if you recognize it.
Yes.
Okay, can you tell us what it is?
Again, messages between me and Megan.
Okay, what's the date of those messages?
February 24th of 2020.
Okay. Is that a fair and accurate representation of the conversation on that date?
Yes.
Okay. We ask that be made exhibit number 95. Permission to publish.
Oh,
Okay.
no, before we do that.
Okay. So it looks like this happened after Evelyn had been, or you had been notified that Evelyn was missing. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And what do you say to Megan?
Can you tell me who has or had Evelyn? I'm worried sick about her.
And then what does Megan say to you?
My mom did. That's why TBI was looking for that BMW and she's being questioned.
And then what did you say to Megan?
What did your mom do with Evelyn? The news said she wasn't with them.
And then what question do you ask Megan here?
Has she had her this entire time?
And what does Megan say?
Yeah, I'll talk to you later. I'm just trying to gather pictures of her, but thanks though.
Is that the first time she told you something different than Ethan
Yes.
having Evelyn? Okay. Please answer any questions the defense has for you.
Okay.
Ms. Stacy, my name's Gene Scott. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good, thank you for asking. It's my understanding you knew Megan through her dating your son, Caleb.
Yes, sir.
When did they date?
It was spring of 2019.
Okay. So, how old was Evelyn the first time you met her?
Oh, goodness. I honestly do not remember. It was early spring,
Okay, so sometime around March. Was that a fair estimate?
March or April. Yeah.
Okay. So she'd have been somewhere 4 to 5 months old.
Yeah, I was going to say 5 or 6, maybe. I don't know.
Because she was born in November, so if it
Right.
were 6, that would put the relationship into May. Was it that
Okay.
late?
I want to say they started dating somewhere around April.
Okay. So, how often would you see Evelyn with Megan?
Anytime I saw Megan, Evelyn was with her.
Okay. And I'm assuming when you saw Evelyn with her, you never saw any signs of abuse or neglect. Is that fair
I
to
did
say?
not.
Were you able to ascertain the relationship between the two of them? Did Megan come across you as a loving mother?
It seemed perfectly normal. Most babies that age tend to cling to mom, and Evelyn did that.
Okay. What was Megan's personality like back then?
She was usually kind of quiet till she got to know us a little bit better, and then she would come in and she would just have normal conversations with us.
Okay. But at that point, she wasn't unfriendly.
No.
You described her earlier as being unemotional.
The one time that we were in the car together, yes.
That was different than her normal personality.
Yes.
You think you described her as unemotional? She could have been withdrawn. Would that be a fair assessment too?
Numb.
No.
Numb
Just
would be a good description.
okay. Just want to make sure I'm clear. Did you ever see any interaction with Megan and Evelyn where Evelyn wasn't dressed appropriately, she was dirty, or anything like that?
Mm-mm. No, sir.
Okay, so I'm assuming you thought she was a good mother.
Good.
When is the last time that you saw Evelyn?
September 11th, 2019.
Okay. Ms. Stacy, I thank you for being here and for your testimony.
Yes, sir.
Redirect.
No, Your Honor.
May she be excused.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Stacy, thank you for your testimony today. You're released from your subpoena.
Thank you.
All right, next.
Statement called Randy Wood.
Raise your right hand, sir. State your name, please.
Randy Wood?
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Good, Jim.
Thank you, Judge. You're Randy Wood, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. And Mr. Wood, where were you living back in 2019?
Let's see, 217 Sandy Point Drive in Bluntville,
All right, you said Bluntville. Was that in Sullivan County?
Sullivan County.
Okay, and just for context, kind of tell us where that's located. Where is
It's
that?
located in Barefoot Landing on the lake.
Okay, out by the lake out there?
Yes.
Behind
Behind the airport.
Airport, okay. All right, now, we've heard some mention earlier in the trial about Preston Hunter Wood. Is he your son?
Yes, he is.
All right. Now, back in December of 2019, did you open a restaurant here in Bluntville?
I did.
All right, if you would, kind of tell us what it was and what you were serving.
The name of it was Hunter T's Chicken Shack. I was the only owner of the place. It was right there on Highway 75.
All right. Where?
I sold chicken, roasted chicken.
Okay. Was it a sit-down restaurant?
No,
or
it was a
drive-through?
drive-through, just like Pal's.
All right. And it's over there, right across, kind of from Northeast State.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you mentioned you were the only owner. Did you have employees, people that worked for
Yes.
you?
Yes.
Okay. How many people? How many
Well,
employees?
let's
did you
see.
have?
We interviewed. We hired everybody that filled the application out because usually there only about half shows up the day you open up. So I probably had about 12 employees.
Okay. And who made the decision as far as who was being hired or not?
I did.
Okay. And one of those employees that showed up to apply for a job and work there, did you know Megan Boswell?
I didn't know her till she filled the application out. That's the first time I met her.
Okay. And did she apply for a job with you?
Yes.
And did you hire her?
Yes.
And do you see Miss Boswell sitting in the courtroom here today?
Yes.
If you would, point her out and describe what she's
She's
wearing.
sitting right over there with the glasses on.
Judge, for the record, he's identified.
Is that record so clear?
All right. Mr. Wood, what do you remember what day you opened?
It was the first Monday in December, and it was the second.
Okay. Second day of December, is that 2019?
Yes.
All right. Was Miss Boswell working that day?
Yes.
Okay. And you mentioned you didn't have a whole lot of employees. Who was in charge of making the schedule and deciding?
Jason Fassett made the schedule and everything.
Okay. Was your son Hunter an employee there?
Yes.
All right. What did Hunter do?
He was mainly just an employee
Okay.
because Jason sort of run the place when I wasn't there.
All right. So Hunter and Megan worked there as co-workers.
Yes.
Did you work there at the restaurant? Were you there on a regular basis, or?
Pretty much so, you know. Yes.
Okay. So you saw Hunter and you saw Megan together at the restaurant? That's a
Yes.
fair statement?
Yes.
All right. Where was your son Hunter living at that time?
He was living with me at that time.
Okay. At your
Out
household?
there, out that lake, yes,
Okay.
out there.
Did he have a vehicle that he drove then?
Yes, he had a Ford truck, what he drove.
All right. At some point in time, did you realize that your son Hunter was in a dating relationship with Megan Boswell?
Well, you know, it was a weird situation, to be honest with you, because she got her car repoed one day at the Chicken Shack, and I made Hunter take her to the doctor that day, and you know, because she didn't have a ride.
Okay. All right.
So that's how they started running around together, because she didn't have a car.
Okay. So at some point in time, you realize they're dating.
Well, they was together a lot. Yes.
Okay.
You can say dating if you want to, or
All
together a lot. Yes.
Okay. And at some point in time, did she come to live at your house?
Well, she didn't have anywhere to go when they repoed the car. And apparently her father, what she said, kicked her out. So I let her come stay. She stayed about 3 nights there. That's all she stayed.
Okay. Were you aware that she had a small child?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever see Evelyn?
No, never saw the baby.
Okay. She never brought Evelyn to work there with her at the Chicken Shack?
When I hired her, because one of the questions is, do you have any kids? Because we work around schedules. Because you got a child, you can't work a lot of hours. So I asked her, she said, yes, I have a baby girl. I said, well, we need to work around your schedule. She said, no, the baby daddy had the child. She said, I can work as many hours you want.
Okay.
And I said, okay.
Did she work a lot of hours?
She did work a lot of hours.
Now, you said she had stayed at your house. Did you ever bring Evelyn or Hunter at that time?
Every day. Yes. 2 months?
Okay. What, have you been up there to see him at that facility?
Yes.
What is his mental status this time?
Well, some days he's pretty decent. Other days he don't know who I am.
Okay. Would he be able to come into this courtroom and
What's their respective number? So I don't have to, you say 143, and I have to say it in They're all gonna be full exhibits. Just read the number when you get it,
Okay,
so you will know what it is.
okay,
That way, and I can keep writing it down.
Okay. that's fine. Next photo, please.
It's going to be a pink bottle with various brown stains on it.
Okay. We move to make that 144. Next photo.
It's various baby clothing, cloth bibs, and a toy rattle.
We move to make that 145.
This next one's going to be just a closer view of those exact items I just described.
The
The
items
same,
in-
yeah, the
in
same picture, just
145.
zoomed
All right.
in.
And we move to make that 146. Next photo.
Just various bottles and the caps of bottles.
Move to make that exhibit 147. Next photo.
A little Mickey and Minnie sweatshirt for a baby.
Move that in as exhibit 148. Next photo, please.
I'm not really sure exactly the proper name for this, but it's like a measuring cup for like medicine liquid.
Is that a true and accurate photo?
It is.
Make that exhibit 149. Next photo.
A little jumper, a little onesie.
Move to make that 150. Next photo.
The pillow that I described in the first set of photos with the brownish stain on it, that's going to be that pillow removed from the shed. A picture of it.
Move to make that 151. Next photograph, please.
Another little onesie.
Move to make that 152. Next photo.
This is another onesie covered in what appears to be dirt.
Move to make that 153. The next photo.
This is another onesie. It's got some various stains on it.
We can make that 154. Next photograph, please.
Another medicine syringe.
Make that 155. Next photo.
This one's going to be another onesie. It's black in color with gypsy princess on it.
Be 156. The next photo, please.
This is going to be medicine. It looks like it's prescribed to Evelyn Boswell, and it's some sort of ointment. I can't pronounce the name of the ointment.
All right, is that a true and accurate photograph? Which
It is.
collected? Be exhibit 157. Next photo, please.
And it's just going to be another up close of that exact ointment that I just described.
Make that 158. Next photograph, please.
The tube of the ointment was brought out of the packaging, and that's what this is going to be a picture of. It looks like it's supposed to go in the eye.
We have to make that exhibit 159. Next photo, please.
It's going to be a sippy cup.
Move that as 160. Next photo.
Another sippy cup. This one's pink in color.
make that 161. Next one, please.
It's going to be a close-up of that pink sippy cup that I just described.
Move that as 162. Next photo, please.
This is going to be the cap of a bottle, and it's got brown stuff all over it.
We have to make that 163. Next photo.
It's going to be a passy.
Exhibit 164. Next photograph, please.
2 baby spoons.
Move to make that 165. Next photo.
This is going to be a diaper bag that is unzipped, but all the items are still inside, untouched, and it appears to be some medicine, a Mountain Dew can, some diapers, and just various things that I can see so far.
We have to make that exhibit 166. Next photo.
This is going to be the medicine inside the diaper bag. It looks like it's going to be children's Tylenol.
We have to make that 167. Next photo.
It's going to be close up of the children's Tylenol in the diaper bag, and it looks like it's got some food and a cloth towel around it with some stains on it.
We have to make that 168. Next photo.
This is going to be another picture of the inside of the diaper bag showing the same thing, the Mountain Dew can with the cloth towel.
We have to make that 169. Next photo, please.
This is going to be a children's spoon, and on one end of the spoon it is got black residue on it.
We have to make that number 170. Next photo.
Mac and cheese baby food.
Move that as exhibit 171. Next photo, please.
This is going to be some sort of tissue paper with brownish red stains on it.
Move that as exhibit 172. And next photo.
It's just going to be another angle of the tissue paper with a brownish red stain.
Move that as exhibit 173. Next photo.
It's going to be a suitcase with various clothing items inside.
Move that as exhibit 174. Next photo.
It's going to be a red wagon, and inside the wagon there's a baby doll, some baby shampoo, wipes, and a suction.
Move to make that exhibit 175. Next photo.
This is going to be a picture of the items beside the wagon inside. And it's got clothing, a car seat. It looks like a little bunny rabbit, teddy bear type thing.
Move that as exhibit 176. Next photo.
This is going to be inside of another diaper bag, and it's stained with brownish, reddish type substance.
Move that as exhibit 177. Next photo.
This is a cardboard box, and inside the box is several white bags.
Move that as Exhibit 178. Next photo.
And this is going to be a big black trash bag, and inside of it is clothing, toys, all things for a baby.
Move that as Exhibit 179. Next photo.
It's going to be 5 tubes of diaper rash cream.
Move to make that Exhibit 180. Next photo.
It's going to be a Mickey mini blanket with a brownish red stain in the middle.
Move to make that Exhibit 181.
That's it.
All right. Judge, I think they've all been admitted at this point. I would move to publish them to the jury. Take the deal and not put up what's been introduced as Exhibit 101. What are we looking at there?
That's going back to the very first picture. It's going to be outside the shed when the door was opened, exactly how the contents were when the door was opened, untouched.
Okay. You all had not moved anything at this point?
No, sir.
.102.
Contents inside the shed. I believe that's a swing type thing and some various clothing items.
.103.
That's going to be the contents inside the shed. There you can see a Mickey and Minnie bottle with some liquid still inside.
.104.
And that's going to be a cardboard box with clothes and a bag on top.
.105.
That's just going to be a close-up of that cardboard box, and it's kind of showing you there the top of a bottle.
.106.
Again, it's zoomed in on the top of the bottle. That's going to be...
107, sorry.
Sorry. That's going to be the suction thing that we removed from the shed.
.108.
That's going to be a bottle that we located inside the shed.
.109.
A piece of baby clothing.
.110.
And that's going to be a onesie on the floor of the shed, along with a pillow there on the left-hand side.
Are those the items that are sitting below the pillow? Can you tell what those are there?
Looks like diapers. Or are you talking about right below the pillow?
Yes.
Yeah, those are diapers.
All right. And I think you have a laser pointer sitting beside you there on the stand. Looks like a.
Oh. Yes.
Sorry. If you could, on the screen up there, point out where we're talking about.
Oh, right here, diapers.
All right.
And then it's going to be the pillow, and then there's the onesie.
All right. Thank you. And Exhibit 111.
That's the onesie I described, and these are the stains that I talked about.
112.
It's going to be the pillow with the brownish stain, and then a blanket.
113.
Again, it's the same picture, just a little bit closer up to show you that pillow and blanket. Um,
114.
There's going to be a cloth bib right there on the floor.
Did you all collect that?
We did.
115.
Again, just showing you the contents there on the floor of that shed.
And for the items that you collected, did you collect all the items that were identified as, or how did you make the decision as far as what you collected?
No, we collected the cloth bib and then this little article of child's clothing. Pretty much anything baby related went.
Exhibit 116.
There was a ladder on the floor of the shed, and this is just a depiction of the contents around that ladder.
117.
It zoomed in a little bit, but you'll see right here is a medical syringe.
And you're indicating an area just inside the metal ladder that's depicted.
Yes,
Center of
there
the
should be a
photograph.
closer up photo of it next.
118.
It's,
Can you see it better there?
it's right there. Sorry, I'm a little shaky.
All right. Is it the syringe? As we're looking at the photograph, it's kind of on the left-hand side. Is it slightly pinkish color? Is that what we're looking at?
It is. There's a blue, what I think is a wipe case, and then it sits directly to the left of that blue wipe case.
And I'm going to show you 119, which I think might give you a little better.
Yes. Right there.
Is that a close-up image of that syringe?
It is.
Exhibit 120.
That's going to be the child swing that was taken from inside the shed.
121.
And then this is what I was talking about, if you recall, where I said it shows the stain went through the entire swing. You can see right there what I'm talking about.
All right, so we're looking at the bottom. We're looking at the photograph. That's the bottom, the base of the.
Yes.
Okay. Exhibit 122.
It's going to be a Mickey Minnie bottle.
Do there appear to be any sort of substance inside the bottle?
There appears to be some milky, whitish looking liquid. He just shy of the bottom of the cup.
Exhibit 123.
That depicts a little bit better where the liquid is inside the cup.
Exhibit 124.
This is going to be the onesie that was on the floor of the shed. I see a stain on the cuff there of the arm, the collar up here, and then of course right toward the bottom.
And looking at that same item, I believe, Exhibit 125.
Yes, that's going to be a close-up of the stain.
And is that, you lifted the flap there on the bottom of the outfit, is that what we're looking at?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Exhibit 126.
Just various baby toys.
Number 127.
A medicine syringe.
$128.
A bottle.
$129.
Child pants.
$130.
A cloth bib.
And again, all these items you all found inside the shed, is that correct?
Every item, yes, was taken from inside the shed.
Number 131.
Another article of baby clothing, and then there's a stain. I believe it's right there.
Let me show you 132, which may give a little better view.
Yes,
Is that
that's the
that
exact
same-
same article of clothing where the stain is right there.
Exhibit 133.
Baby shorts.
Number 134.
The top of a bottle.
135.
A baby's suction.
Number 136.
A blanket.
And these photos that are taken of these individual items, you all have removed them from the shed. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And took them back over to, it looks like, to the sheriff's office to photograph them.
Yes, they were in our evidence.
Number 137.
That's going to be a white trash bag with various blankets inside.
All right. And showing you 138. Is that the same bag, the blankets there?
That's going to be the contents inside the bag, yes.
All right. So you've removed them from the
Correct.
bag at that point. Number 139.
Just a child's toy, little bear.
Exhibit 140.
Pants.
Was it the condition of the pants when you found them? Were they turned inside out like that, or did
Yes.
you all manipulate them? Okay.
Yes. How they each show in the picture is exactly how we found them.
Exhibit 141.
It's a cloth bib.
Number 142.
A red blanket.
143.
Another medicine syringe.
$144.
A baby's bottle.
Number 145.
Just various articles of clothing. I think there's a blanket, a little toy rattle.
And all these items were found together.
Yes.
And show you 146.
That is just going to be a close-up of those items, just a little bit more in detail. You can see what appears to be a sock there with some stains on it, like a little bow headband there. Just a close-up.
All right. Exhibit 147.
Various bottles and their lids.
148.
A Mickey mini sweatshirt for a baby.
Number 149.
Looks like a type of a measuring cup for some sort of medicine liquid.
150.
It's going to be a onesie.
$151.
That is going to be the pillow from inside the shed once it was removed.
Number 152.
It's another baby's onesie.
And 153.
Another onesie.
$154.
And that's going to be another onesie with various stains. You can see it toward the collar here and then more toward the bottom.
Number 155.
Medicine syringe.
$156.
Another onesie.
Appears to still be on a hanger. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Exhibit 157.
That's going to be the eye ointment.
158.
The ointment removed from the box.
159.
A close-up of the ointment tube.
All right. It looks like it says it's erythromycin
Yes.
ophthalmic ointment.
Yes.
$160.
A sippy cup.
161,
Another sippy cup.
162,
And that's just going to be a close up of the previous sippy cup.
163,
That's going to be the lid of a sippy cup. It just shows the various stains on it, the blackish brownish stains.
164,
A passy.
165,
2 baby spoons.
166,
It looks to be a diaper bag, and that's the contents inside the diaper bag.
is that before?
And that's the contents inside the diaper bag.
Is that before you removed any of the items from the diaper bag?
Yes, sir.
167,
That's going to be the bottle of children's Tylenol that was inside the diaper bag.
so that was found in the diaper bag that was shown in the previous
Yes, sir.
exhibit. 168,
There it is in the diaper bag beside the baby's food and the cloth.
169,
Just another angle of inside the diaper bag.
Exhibit 170,
That's going to be a children's spoon with some sort of black residue substance there on the end of the spoon.
Exhibit 171,
That's going to be the mac and cheese.
had it been opened or was it unopened?
I can't. It looks like it's been an end has been opened. Just the way the packaging was.
Exhibit 172,
That is going to be the piece of tissue paper with the brownish red substance on it.
173,
And that's just another angle of the exact same tissue paper with the brownish red substance.
number 174,
A suitcase with just various clothing items inside.
175,
That's going to be the red wagon. As you can see, there's baby shampoo here, a suction, some wipes, a baby doll.
or 176,
There's going to be a car seat and just some various clothing items.
number 177,
The inside of another bag that we found from inside the shed with some stains there on the side.
exhibit 178,
It's going to be a cardboard box with several white bags.
exhibit 179,
A black trash bag with various clothing and toys for all for a baby inside.
number 180,
The 5 tubes of diaper rash cream.
number 181,
Appears to be a child's blanket with a brownish red stain on it.
and all these items were collected and taken out of the shed. You testified earlier about the interview that you did with Ms. Boswell over the sheriff's office.
Yes,
Sheriff's office located here in Blumpville, correct?
correct.
That's Sullivan County?
Yes,
All right. The property that you went out to search, Tommy Boswell's, is out on Muddy Creek Road?
yes. Muddy Creek is in Blumpville, inside Sullivan County.
All right. if you would answer any questions that Scott has for you.
Y'all come up here a minute, please.
Detective Gilliam, the items you collected, all these photographs we've admitted, were any of those items sent to TBI lab for testing?
I'm not sure if they were or not.
You weren't involved in that.
No, I was not.
You just collected them.
Correct.
Okay. Let's go back an hour and a half or so to the interview we watched.
Uh-huh.
You talked to Megan on February the 18th, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
What time of day was that?
It was in the evening. It was after working hours.
Okay, if you could help me narrow it down a little bit more than that. So when do working hours end?
Between 4 and 5. That interview probably took place around 6:30, maybe even 7.
Okay. She had an earlier interview with Tracy Haraz and a DCS worker. I think you seemed to reference that in your interview.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What kind of time gap between those two interviews?
I know when the referral first came out was right at 4 to 5 that day. And that's when Tracy and the DCS worker went to the residence and brought Megan back to the sheriff's office and had their interview. So I would say their interview might have took place around 5:36.
Okay. And your interview was basically just a follow-up on their interview?
Yes, sir.
Continuation, so to speak.
Yes.
All right. All the questions I have.
Redirect.
Nothing from the judge.
All right. Will she still be under the subpoena? Or should she be released?